so before we begin the trick, we just need to shuffle the deck up here, just like this. And you guys can see here, all the cards completely shuffled, completely mixed up here. No order or anything to the cards. So what's gonna happen is I actually need one of the spectators. I should mention there are 2 spectators helping me in this trick. So we need one of the spectators to just go ahead and touch a random card. So let's say they touch this one right here. And I would give them the option to change their mind if they wish, but let's just say that they stick with this one in this case. So if you guys can see here, the box has actually been sitting here the entire time. You guys can check it out, but we're just gonna use the box to cover up this random card that they touched. And we're gonna get back to those at the end of the trick. But for now, we need the 2 spectators to select a card. So let's have the first spectator, they touch any card. In the real trick, I would not wanna see what it is, but in this case, it's okay if I see it. So we have the 6 of clubs over here, so perfect. We're gonna take that card and we're just gonna lose it here somewhere in the deck, just like this. We'll drop some cards on top. We can even mix them up, it doesn't matter. But for the second spectator, we just need them to select another card. So we'll just have them pick one out of here. You guys can see they're all different, so it doesn't matter which one they choose. Let's say they choose this one right here. So we have the 4 of spades. All right, so we have the 6 of clubs and the 4 of spades. Both cards completely getting lost here somewhere in the middle of the deck. All right, we'll just kind of dribble those cards and losing those cards in the middle of the deck. All right, just like this. So yeah, I just want to spread out the cards here, show you guys all the cards are shuffled, and you guys can see they're really not near the top or the bottom. They really are kind of dispersed throughout the middle of the deck, all right? So what's gonna happen now is we're gonna deal 2 piles of the deck, just like this. The reason why I'm gonna deal 2 piles is because I want each spectator to actually have their own half of the deck, okay? Because they're gonna be doing their own thing in a little bit with the cards. So I'm just gonna deal these cards out here, just like this. All right, perfect. So for the first spectator, you guys can see it's about like half the deck or so, but I'm just gonna ask the first spectator, can you go ahead and hold on to that pile in like a dealing grip, like you're gonna deal the cards down? Perfect. And now the second spectator, can you also hold onto your pile like you're about to deal the cards down? Perfect. So they're gonna be holding onto their 2 piles here. Now, we're gonna uncover this mystery card. We're going to take a look at what it is. And remember, you had a completely free choice at the beginning of what random card to choose. So we have no idea what it is. It could be anything, but whatever the value is of this card, the number, we're gonna use that number and we're gonna deal that many cards down from the top of our 2 piles, okay? So let's take a look here. Okay, 6 of hearts. So we just need to look at the value, the 6, okay? So that means we're gonna deal 6 cards down from each of the piles. So the first spectator takes his pile, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and actually just hold on to the 6th card. Just hold on to it. And the second spectator also does this at the same time as the first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they deal 6 cards together and they're holding on to the 6th cards of their pile. This is the first spectator, this is the second spectator. First spectator, what was your card? It was the 6 of clubs, right? There's the 6 of clubs. And the second spectator was the 4 of spades, right? And there it is, the 4 of spades. You guys, they could have picked any number here and they could have selected any cards. And yeah, everything is completely examinable at this point. And the box also. So yeah, that is the trick, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and stick around for the tutorial. All right, guys, so before I actually get into the method of how this trick is done, I actually just want to explain a little bit of how I came up with this and how I came across this trick. So you may or may not have noticed, but this trick is actually a variation of a trick that MissMag822 uploaded on his channel many years ago. It's called Same Place, Same Time. It's essentially the same idea of the trick where 2 cards are selected by 2 spectators, the deck is split in half like this, and then they go through like this, and the 2 cards are found to be at the same place at the exact same time, impossibly. I only had one problem with that trick, and that problem was that when they appeared at the same place at the same time, neither the magician or the spectator, nobody would know exactly where the cards would end up. Like they could be, the 5th cards could be the 2 spectators' cards, or they could end up in the 20th position of both piles. It would be different every single time you performed the trick. So I wanted to come up with a way for it to be like fixed values so that you and the spectator would both know where the cards would end up, and it would just give the trick a little bit more of like a concrete structure, I think. That was kind of my approach on this trick. I've been sort of like challenging myself to go through my like beginner effects that I learned when I was starting out card magic, and I sort of look at those effects and I think, how can I like improve these effects to make them better? How can I refine them to maybe like add some more sleight of hand or just add some more elements to make the effect a little bit better? So I took this trick, same place, same time, and I just added the element of including the mystery card, and that mystery card, whatever the value is, that's going to be where they appear at the same place and the same time. So that was my addition to the trick. So now I'm going to teach you guys how you can do this trick. So how it works is you actually need a full deck of 52 cards, and if you're missing any cards, it might not work. So if you try out the trick after watching and you find out like, oh, that didn't work, just make sure you have 52 cards in your deck. So that's why I'm telling you right now, just make sure you have a full deck of cards, and then this trick will work perfectly fine. But it's a totally impromptu trick, which is also another plus of this trick. So the cards can be totally shuffled by the spectator. You are going to need the card box for this trick as well, because it just provides some cover for a move called the top change that you're going to do in the beginning of the trick. So once the cards are shuffled, once the box is on the table, you're going to take the cards back from the spectator, and you're going to go through the cards showing that all the cards are different. But what you're secretly doing is you're going to be looking for any 6. You're going to be looking for any card that has the value of 6. So it could be this one. You could use any 6. You could use that one over there. You could use this one over here. It does not matter. However the cards are shuffled, I would just go with like a random one in the middle. So I'm going through the cards here, and I'm just going to show, oh, look, all these cards are different and shuffled here, and I see a 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the cards at that 6, all the cards below that 6. I'm going to break them apart like this, and I'm going to twist my hands over, place the left hand cards down, and then the right hand cards down. What that does is it cuts that 6 to the top of the deck secretly. So now you have a 6 here on top of the deck. So now what you're going to do is you're actually going to force the 6. So you can actually do any force that you want. You can do a riffle force like this. You can say, here, call out stop, and then that will be the card. So basically the mystery card is always going to be this 6. How I did it in the performance was I had the spectator touch any card, so they can touch any card in the middle of the deck. And then what I do is I do a top change with this random card here, because it's obviously not going to be a 6. But what I do is I turn my body to the right, the same side that my box is on here. And as I turn my body and pick up the box, I do a top change. And I've taught this move in another video. I'll link you guys to that video so you guys can learn how to do the top change in a little bit more detail. But you're going to do the top change like this as you pick up the box. And as you can see, what I just did was I switched that card to be the 6. So now that card is the 6. I'm going to place that card underneath the box, and now that part of the trick is completely done. So the next part is just controlling the 2 selections. So there's a very specific way to control the 2 selections, or else it doesn't work. So basically how it's going to work is you're going to have the first spectator touch any card. This is a completely free choice. So they can touch any card, let's say the 5 of spades. Now this is how you're going to control the first selection. So you're going to be dropping cards on the table, and it seems like it's just a random amount, but it's actually a very specific amount. So you're first going to peel off 4 cards with your thumb and then drop them on the table. Then you're going to do another 4 cards, and then you're going to do another 4 cards. 3 groups of 4 cards, and that actually is 12 cards if you notice that. So that's actually going to be 4 and then 8 and 12. So you're going to drop 12 cards on the table, then take their selection, place it down. Now their card is going to be now 13th from the bottom of the deck. So now you can take some more cards, drop them on top, and these, it does not matter how many you're dropping now, but you're going to stop when you have about a quarter of the deck left. So as you can see, their card is actually going to be now 13th from the bottom here. So just remember that. So now the second spectator is going to pick a card from the remaining quarter of the deck or so. It doesn't matter which card they pick. So let's say they pick the 6 of hearts. You're going to take the remaining cards that they just selected from, and you're going to drop those on top of the deck. The first spectator's card is still 13th from the bottom. And now what you're going to do is you're going to drop 11 cards on the table instead of 12. You're going to drop 11 now. So how I do that is I go 4, 4, and then instead of doing another 4, you just do 3 instead. So that would be 11 cards. So once you drop 11 cards on the table, you now take the second spectator selection, place that down, and now instead of continuing to drop small packets, you're just going to drop the entire deck now on top, just like that, because you don't want to disturb the rest of the deck now, because now those 2 cards are in very specific locations, as you guys can see. So we have the 6 of hearts right here, and the 5 of spades, which is right here. So those two cards, they cannot be moved. Those two cards need to be there for this trick to work. At this point, you can do like a false cut or something if you want to, just to make it seem like the cards are getting more mixed up. But once those two cards are in those two locations, all you have to do is start dealing the two piles, just alternating left and right. One tip I would give is I would actually start dealing it to the side of spectator number 1. So don't start dealing it to spectator number 2 first. Start dealing the first pile to spectator number 1. Let's just pretend that spectator number 1 is over here, spectator number 2 is over here. So I'm going to start dealing to spectator number 1 first. And that is just going to help me a lot with this next part. So now this part is sort of self-working. So you just have to deal the cards out like this into 2 piles. And you're going to notice that you actually have 51 cards here that you're holding on to because the 52nd card is underneath the box over there. So when you have 51 cards, there's going to be an extra card on top of the first pile. The 52nd card would go here, but obviously it's underneath the box. So then you're going to pick up the pile with the last card that you just dealt, or the pile next to spectator number 1. This pile will always contain spectator number 1's card, and all you have to do to control their card to the 6th position, I should tell you, their card is not in the 6th position right now. Their card is actually 13th from the top right now, so all you need to do is you need to pass 7 cards from the top, and then their card will be 6th card from the top. So all I do is I just say, so yeah, this is about like half the deck, right? What I do is I peel off 3, and then 3, and then I just get a break underneath the top card. And that would be 7 cards when I square up like this. Now I'm holding a break right below 7 cards. So at this point, I'm gonna invite the spectator to hold onto the pile like in a dealing grip. And as I ask them this question, I'm gonna do a classic pass like this. And if you guys don't know how to do a classic pass, please check out my tutorial for the classic pass. That will help you a lot. Because you don't wanna cut the cards openly. You wanna do that secretly. You don't wanna make it look like you're rearranging the order or anything. So you just wanna hand them this pile now. And what you've just done is you've actually controlled their card to the 6th position. And the best part about this trick is the second pile, their card is actually already in the 6th position. The 6 of hearts, second spectator's card is already there, so you don't need to pass anything with the second pile. So you just give it to them, that's it. So now at this point, the trick is over. You show the mystery card, you say 6. Okay, let's deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, that's spectator number 1's card, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then boom, that's spectator number 2's card. So that's essentially the entire trick, guys. Now, yes, of course, every time you perform this trick, or the version that I just showed you in this trick, it's always going to be a 6. Now, what you guys can do is you can change this value. If you don't want to control it to the 6th position, maybe you guys want to try controlling it to the 9th position or the 10th position. You guys can totally do that, but I will tell you that you're going to have to come up with the different places to control these cards, and you're not going to really be able to follow this exact tutorial, because this tutorial that you're watching is how to basically force the cards 6th from the top. But I'm telling you that you guys can choose any value that you want. You're just going to have to control them to different locations. You guys are going to have to figure that out on your own. But totally feel free to do that if you guys want to. But yeah, guys, like I said, that is pretty much the entire trick. So I really hope you guys try this one out, because this one is super powerful. In my opinion, when the 2 spectators are holding the piles and then they deal 6 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have them just name their cards, and then I have them flip the cards over at the same time. And when they see their 2 cards there, it's so powerful because they're holding onto the piles. You have not even touched it, and it's just insanely impossible how it's done. So I would definitely recommend trying this one out. It will definitely fool some people. And yeah, this one is really, really fun to do. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and see you guys for my next video. All right, bye.